Okay. I'll stop that. Hello, everybody. I don't think I'm really talking to... I'm literally talking to no one right now, unless you're watching this on a replay, which most of you are. Hello. Welcome to an early morning barking live stream. I know I'm live right now. I imagine more people will arrive soon. I'm going to try and not be mardy about it, you know. I still think I need some better start music. Because this stuff is bloody awful. Have I sworn too quick in the show? 6 minutes, we're good. I'm choosing from the YouTube Studio Audio Library of free music, which includes such hits as None Whatsoever. It does have the 1961 John F. Kennedy inaugural speech. If you know,
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do
I don't-
solemnly swear
that you will faithfully
I don't know what that's about, but that's the thing. Oh, hi there. There is one person here. So, right, anyway, I should do actually like I'm doing a live stream. I should say before I start, or as I'm starting, it's hotter than the sun in here. I've been out most of the evening and found out I'd left my heating on a timer, and it's been on full in here all night. It's so hot. And I can't open the window to cool it down or have a fan on or anything like that. It will eventually cool down and I will be freezing. But until then, I'm just going to be a bit pink and a bit red and fade into the background because it's that hot. The color balance isn't off. I'm this color right now. That's just, and I've got a bit of a, I'm needing to clear my throat a lot. I should have coughed a lot more before I started. There you go. You see, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. Anyway, let's see where we are. So tonight I wanted to do something different. And I've had a good weekend, and that kind of inspired me to do something a bit more positive, right? Because so much of this stuff is heavy, and so much of it is dark and difficult. Let's focus on something a bit lighter, shall we? And this thing that's come up for me over the last few days has been a constant problem for years, really. And what we're talking about is, of course, like the positives in life. Stuff to feel good about. I can define a few of them, but you'll have some different ones. And we forget about them so much. I think we get very wrapped up in our stuff. We get very caught up in our own shit. And we forget about the positives. So tonight, I want to talk about a few of those. I don't know how long I can go with this on my own. So if you're in the chat and you want to pipe up, please do so. Also, don't be shy about hitting up a super chat. That really helps me out and helps the channel and that kind of thing. Also, hit the like button or whatever, wherever you are. Do all that stuff. Help me, please. I had a night out for the first time in ages with people that I've been friends with for 22 years, which is a rare thing, isn't it? That I've had some friends that long and that we are still good friends. And these are friends from college that, you know, I went through uni with, that I lived with at uni. And some people that I built a podcast network with that I couldn't have achieved anything I've achieved without these people. These are massively important people to me. And because we're adults and life gets in the way, we don't get to see each other as much as we would, or I certainly don't. And it's so good to be reminded every so often that you have actually got friends. And to go and do something about it, and to go and actually have some social contact for once and get out there. And the one thing that hit me while I was in the midst of it all if not beforehand. In fact, definitely beforehand. I'm going to sound a bit morbid now. But this is why you don't kill yourself, right? That's what these things are, right? The whole, what have I got to live for? What's the point? All of that. Well, those things are actually there. Those things can exist, and for me, really do exist. And I know, look, I know it's possible to not have these things. I know it's possible to have no friends and to be quite isolated, and to have isolated yourself long enough to get into that kind of state. But for most of us, it is the case that we have people who care about us, people who want to see us, people who want to do things with us, and these opportunities to do things and see these people will come up in life, however rare, and each and every one of them is a reason for there to be a tomorrow, right? Thank you so much for a super chat. It was just a great time. I can go on a rant about London. That can be a thing. Because I come from Doncaster, which is a little town in the north of England, for those of you who don't know. In Yorkshire, I am officially a northerner. And to go to London is that classic stereotypical, like, why would you want to go to there? It is often referred to as that London. And it's big, and it's dirty, and it's expensive, and it's all those things. It's literally the most expensive city in the world. And it has tubes that stink of piss, and they really do. And clearly Transport for London employ at least one crazy person per train to sit shouting and stinking further of piss. And it's the kind of place where you buy a round of drinks and then you spend like 50 quid. And everyone's like, yeah, that's what drinks cost. It's not. It's what drinks cost you here. It's not what drinks cost. And I kind of like it there, I must admit. But I think it appeals to, like, the younger elements of my brain, the bit of me that still thinks I'm 22. Like, I could see myself being that I could live in London and riding around on the tube and going out and doing stuff and being London person. And I think, fuck it, I'm 43, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. I don't have that energy anymore. I don't have that need to run around and do all this weird stuff anymore. I'd rather just sit at home and watch the telly. There's something new on Apple Plus. And that's just age, I suppose, but I'm okay with it because I'm just fed up of all the other stuff. I can't, it's too much effort, it's too much noise, it's too much to deal with and handle. And the recovery time from doing all that stuff is getting longer and longer. So I did that on Friday night. I was still feeling bad yesterday, and I'm still not quite right today. I'm not built for that anymore. My brain is very built for that, right? But my body says no. It says, chill, Rich. Just, have you tried a decaf coffee? Where's my coffee? And no, I haven't, because it's 12:15 at night and I'm actually surprisingly tired. So we're caffeinated tonight, by the way, on the show. We ended up in a weird nightclub called... Oh, God. I have no idea what it was called. I was really quite drunk by that point. I'm not much of a drinker. I've probably said that before. I don't really drink a lot, but yeah, it got to sort of 6 o'clock and I realized I was like 6 pints in. Like, what the hell is going on? It got a bit hazy after that. I remember there was a weird nightclub with not many people in besides us, listening to music that was just not good. It wasn't good. But I had a fun adventure, right? That's how I see these things. Anytime I get out of the house and go somewhere new, I get to go on the trains. I get to go and stay somewhere that isn't home, and I get to see people I don't normally see, and I get to go and have all these adventures and fun, and that is the point of all of it, right? That's the point. That's our little just. What else are we here for? Stuff like that. Really, stuff like that. That, to me, is the point of life. That and things like it. Right? Is there a big picture? Is there meaning? Do you have a point? Who cares? If it was there, it'd be obvious, right? Just have fun. Just have fun. And I forget to do that so much. Just so much. Because I'm worried about being able to have fun. That's the irony of it all, right? That what are my worries? My big worries are all about being loved, having friends, being popular, being liked, but also being well, being fit and healthy and able to do these things, and being financially stable, being financially able to do these things, because, I had help to do that weekend. And it wouldn't have been possible otherwise. And so this is, as I've said before, that, my financial situation in life is something that has always weighed me down. And I get caught up in this situation of worrying about that so much that I don't actually do anything. Right? And the irony is that the reason why I want money, why I want all of this stuff, is so that I can do things. And by spending so much time worrying about it, I spend not enough time doing what I can actually do. Which is dumb and defeats the purpose entirely. And so I end up not doing stuff. Not saying yes to things because I'm worried about stuff. Turning stuff down. And isolating, because it's easier to stay at home. It's easier to not put in that effort. It's easier to just chill out in front of the telly and watch some Netflix, because they don't ever reject you. They just put the prices up. $10.99. You're on the edge, Netflix. You're on the edge. I've already got Seinfeld somewhere else. I don't need you to watch it, but that's another issue. But do you know what? At the same time, it takes me onto another thing. And I've kind of been toying with this idea for like an alternative YouTube channel. Because I like early morning barking very much, and I'm not stopping doing it. Don't worry. It's therapy for me too, right? But it is very heavy, and I like talking about happier things. And in the past, I've liked making people laugh and be happy and that kind of thing. And it's difficult to do that when you're talking about suicidal ideation or a lack of sense of self or narcissistic abuse. Hey, I know what's funny. Let's talk about malignant narcissism. That's a laugh, isn't it? No, it's not. So Wait, hang on, in the chat there. Has Spotify put their prices up too? I didn't know that. I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so I wanted like a happier alternative channel. And you start thinking about, what can I do? What can I talk about? What kind of other thing is there? And the thing I kept coming back to was things to look forward to. It was a show idea I'd had years ago, I think, back in podcasting. There are a couple of show ideas that I'd still love to be able to do that I thought of during podcasting. A tech show in particular that I'm still enamored with the idea for. We'll come back to that. That's not what I'm here to talk about tonight. But this other channel, things to look forward to. And it would talk about anything. And in actual fact, I kind of liked the idea of talking about stuff that is the weirder the better. Stuff to look forward to, right? Because I have stuff in my life that I'm looking forward to. The next F1 race, movies coming out, a new album coming out by a particular artist, a trip away, all that kind of stuff, right? There's positives in life, stuff to look forward to. Even little things, the second series of a new of a TV show that I'm into coming on. It could be, there's so many things this could be. And it occurred to me that, you know, I've got my tastes, I've got my things that I like to do, the things that excite me, but that's just me, and I'm fairly limited somewhat. I'm not exactly the most adventurous person. And I'd kind of like to do a show about all kinds of weird and wonderful things that people are looking forward to. And ideally stuff that I'm not already into, stuff I don't know about. Excuse me. And it's an almost tricky one to do, because you can't do a show yourself about stuff you don't know about, right? Because I don't know about it. And that even involves stuff like, I don't know, things are happening. I don't know. There could be a huge sporting event that all the fans of that event are absolutely wetting themselves with excitement over, and I've got no idea it exists. And I would love to be told about this stuff by people who are passionate about it, right? I don't want to come at it from an angle of, why would I care about that? But more, tell me, why would I care about that? Help me to care about that. And I'd love hearing from enthusiastic people on anything, really. It's some of the best conversation you get out of the general public, is getting people onto stuff that they love talking about. And it's such a good way of getting to know people and finding out about the world you live in and finding new things. You know, talking to people who are enthusiastic about anything is always good. And it's always been the people who aren't really enthusiastic about stuff that are the dullest and the most sad. And I mean that in the emotional sense, not in the Donald Trump sense. And so that was my show idea. Things to look forward to. And it's one of those that, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, I could do that, but that would there's some time and energy has got to go into that. And I need sort of like a pool of people that I know that I can pull onto it. Like, I need somebody who can talk to me about sport, and somebody who can talk to me about model trains, and somebody who can talk to me about a new guitar that Fender have launched, or a new game that's coming out, or whatever. There's so many things. And I wonder if I could do that from some point of view of audience participation, which is always difficult to rely on. Relying on audience participation is tricky, especially for new things and low audience things, right? I mean, look, how many people are watching this show live right now? If I was literally relying on audience participation for the show to work at all, I might be a little screwed right now. And I put myself in that situation many, many times in podcasting when I would do call-in shows and no one calls. So what do? You just talk for an hour and a half. I think you're kind of looking at it now. Are we anywhere near where I started, by the way? Or have I just totally gone off on one? The second thing. So that's what I do. We can live with it. So that was the show idea. And I'm kind of enamored with it. It's one that's not going away. It's a little brainworm for me, because it just glows with positivity. It's kind of a little bit sickening. And I'm kind of wondering, if anything, if it's too far the other way for me. If I need something where I can be a little bit cynical and a little bit wound up about stuff and a little bit unimpressed by things. I don't know. it might be too far that way, because I wouldn't want to come at it from that point of view. And especially if I was talking to somebody about something they were enthusiastic about, I don't want them to meet me and me be like, nah, that sounds shit. Why are you doing that? Because that's just horrible. And that's not fun at all for anybody. Unless you just want to see a show where I just like verbally attack people on a show, which I can definitely see having its merits. Now I say that out loud, but I don't think I would do that to nice people who've come to talk to me about something they care about. That's the screwed up bit there. Yeah. There's so many things, though. There's just so much stuff. And God, I always used to come at this from an angle of like, the world is such a depressing place, regardless of your state of mental health. How can anybody have good mental health today? Right? Whether you've got BPD, MPD, or anything else. If you have good mental health, you aren't paying attention. I can't help but feel that that's the case these days. Right? Having something to look forward to, having positives in life is what keeps people going. If you have got mental health problems, if you are depressed, if you have got BPD, how can we expect ourselves to be able to get better unless we have things to look forward to? And that process of finding these things and experiencing those things is definitely part of the healing process. It's that forcing yourself out of your shell to be part of the world, to participate, and to find those relationships with other human beings that make life fulfilling, that give you comfort and make you feel safe. That's how you find friends and loved ones and close people. Having things to look forward to is crucial. It's absolutely crucial, and it's never talked about. It is never focused on. And I think it's so important, especially at the depths of despair. You know, that was something that when I was recently going through a lot of favorite person stuff, one thing I tried to do as much as possible was give myself stuff to look forward to over the next week. Whether that be meeting a friend for a coffee, or trying to go to a band practice, or whatever. Something like, well, it doesn't, on Thursday I'm doing this. On Friday I'm doing that. Having things to look forward to. I called it having a life, right? That's what it is. That's what things to look forward to is. It's having a life. It's doing stuff. I'm doing this thing in August. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Or I'm going wherever on holiday, or I'm going to meet up with so-and-so at some point, and we're going to go and see a musical. Whatever. Having things to look forward to is having a life, and having a life is what can help you get over all of this shit. And we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it, and we don't suggest things. Because ultimately, who wants to do that? And who can do that? You could sit there all day, right? And that's not what happens in therapy, right? They answer, well, have you tried going to the cinema? Have you tried going to a gig with some mates? Whatever. No one gets specific. People just tell you, get a life. Sort your life out. Have a word with yourself. Go and do something. Get some fresh air, right? What should I do? Would it hurt to talk about a few things you could do? Would it hurt to, have somebody just suggesting, why don't you try this? I think that might be pretty valuable content in the right context. And I have no agenda. I don't care what you do. I don't want to encourage you to take up any particular hobby, but I would encourage people to take up a hobby. And I'm quite prepared, as I say, to hear from people who love the one they've got. I'd need to, wouldn't I? It's such a cool thing when people care about stuff, right? As I was saying earlier, some of the best conversations you get are when somebody has the opportunity to just open up and let rip about something they care about. And just, you can watch this person get all excited and animated, and you know you're going to hear some nerdy stuff coming out of this person right now about whatever the hell it is they're into. It can be contagious. It can drag you along with it, enthusiasm and excitement. It's an important thing to have in your life, and to have people in your life who are enthusiastic and excited. It's a good quality. It's an attractive quality. It makes you an interesting person. Am I saying enough good things about this? You've got to have things to look forward to. You've got to find what sparks you, what gets you going, what gets you excited. And I think there's a world of so many things out there. It almost gets a bit overwhelming at times. It's almost a bit much, right? There's almost kid in a sweet shop thing going on. Well, if I'm doing that, I'm not doing this. I do that a lot with stuff, actually. And I don't know if it's it might be a BPD related thing, but I get a sort of ADD, ADHD kind of thing from it, which is the whole being overwhelmed by choice and ending up not making a choice and suffering as a result. And it's that standing in the sweet aisle at the supermarket, like, what do you want? Here's one of everything. Like, well, now I don't know. There's been so many times in my life when I wished that they just sold 2 bars of chocolate, because that's so easy. Do you want the one with biscuit in it or the one without? I can deal with that. And then it's when they go, well, we make 487 different bars of chocolate. They're all good. Which one do you want? I don't know. I don't know. It can be a bit overwhelming. And so you end up like not making a decision sometimes. And then you suffer from that. You definitely should leave the shop with chocolate of some kind, you know. So in that case, just pick one at random. They're all good, honestly. All good. Even the white chocolate. I'm just thinking about chocolate now. Yeah, anyway. I've got some chocolate. I should eat it later. I kind of want to... I just need sugar. Hang on. The best thing about Coca-Cola is it's sugar and caffeine. I'm not going to sleep after this show, by the way. I'm usually up for another 4 or 5 hours after I finish. It's going to be one of those. So yeah, things to look forward to. I feel like it might be worth... I talk about writing stuff down a lot, which is silly because I don't write anything down. I have a pad on my desk, which I keep here for scribbling notes on and stuff like that. Actually, most of my desk is covered in paper. You can't see it because if you saw what was actually on the desk in front of me, you'd be appalled. But I promise you, there is a lot of paper and a lot of pens here. And I scribble things down, but it seems that what I mostly do is add up what I think I'm going to make out of cryptocurrency in 6 months or something like that. There's nothing of value here. What I'm actually talking about in this context is writing down the things to look forward to and having it... I kind of feel like it should be a sort of front and center thing in your life. Not like a notebook thing, but like a door of the fridge thing, office wall thing. I have so got space for a year planner on the wall there. And so what I'm imagining is a year planner, but not with like dentist appointments and bill payments on it, but like when a particular movie is coming out and the Grand Prix schedule and all kinds of stuff like that. Just an entire year planner on the wall all the time of stuff I like. A release schedule of Nintendo games. All of this stuff. Anything you want. And I feel like that might be a really, really good thing to have in your life. If you're continually down. Or worried. Or... well, all of the things that we talked about in the past that get better when you have a bit of a life. Plus the organizational stuff, you know, a year planner's a year planner, isn't it? But no, that's not what I'm talking about. I feel like it should be worth having a separate year planner with nothing organizational on it. Right? Stuff that is just happening in the world. Or in your world that are relevant to you. Not what day have you got to pick the kids up from thing and take them to thing B. No. Put that on your phone. I just want a year planner of when the Doctor Strange movie's coming out and stuff like that. A summer blockbuster movie release schedule. Nothing but stuff that just makes me go, oh, cool, that's happening. Oh, that's out today. Awesome. Oh, I'm going to be doing that on Friday. All that kind of stuff. That seems like such an obvious, really, really, really obvious thing. And now I'm kind of surprised that no one's ever suggested that before. I don't think I've just had a revelation of any kind, but it does seem kind of obvious. A year planner of good stuff. And if there's not enough stuff on it, then you've got a job, haven't you? Right? That year planner represents a year of your life. Do you want big gaps on that? Do you really want to have weeks on end of nothing to look forward to? That's depressing right there. And so I think it might just having it might just encourage me or encourage someone to fill it. I guess it's one of those things that could go both ways, right? And that's a BPD thing to take into account. It can be positive reinforcement or it can work as negative reinforcement, right? Can you get caught up in just staring at that empty year planner and saying, God, I'm such a depressing person. I have nothing in my life. Look at that. My year planner is empty. Well, yeah, I guess you could do that. But you have to have some self-awareness with that, right? You have to understand that that's the opposite reason to why you've put that year planner on the wall. And if it's having that effect on you, take the damn thing down. It's not glued up there. If you have glued it up there, have a word with yourself about how you affix disposable paper to walls, right? Don't glue year planners onto walls. Blue tack, maybe thumbtacks, and at a push sellotape. I don't know what your walls are covered in. I wouldn't put it on wallpaper. And then if it's that empty, you've got a job to do. Now we have to fill the year planner. We have to have stuff on it. And maybe you can start off small. Pick a thing and put it on there. Find movies you like that you know are coming and find out what day they're coming. Get on the internet, research some stuff. Find out what weekends your team is playing and watch it. There's so much you can do. There's so much you can have to look forward to. I'm kind of surprising myself and feeling a bit dumb about it. Sorry, I'm going to go to the chat room because I just saw the message that said, sorry, I don't want to disrupt your train of thought. And that's the first thing that's going to happen. And I know you didn't mean to do that. Please don't worry about it. But I'm going to look in the chat room. Because apparently I can't do two things at once. And please, again, don't worry. I'm gonna go in and come back. Let's see. You see, this is the problem with live streams. My brain trips up so easily. I went back to this. That's my train of thought. Sorry, yeah, it's easily done. Like I'm falling downhill with my legs wheeling like I'm chasing the cheese. That's another thing to look forward to. Well, not really making sense. I'm not even reading anymore. I'm just yammering. It's fine if you have to tune me out. I usually have my long-term outlook at around making it to the end of the year and doing what I can to still be this side of the grass 5 years. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. It's late and apparently I'm easily derailed. I hope you're laughing there. That's fine. I need to figure out a way to do that. But anyway. It's important to have things to look forward to. This was what I was saying. That was why we're here, isn't it? God, I am so easily derailed. Oh, dear. I'm a little bit out of practice with this. Do you know, I used to have a job where... That in itself is a statement that is complete and absurd, isn't it? I used to have a job. And on several of those jobs, it involved talking to people on the phone and using a computer at the same time. I struggle. I'll be perfectly honest. I struggle, and I always have. If you want to just like shut my brain down, this little pro tip, right? This works 100% of the time. If you talk to me while I'm on the phone, I'm done. That's it, right? That's what it takes to overload my brain. Two people speaking to me at once, one on a phone, one in real life, and I can't focus on either thing, and my brain just basically shuts down. That's the thing. So I think I need to work on my how to look at the chat room and read it thing. Without that, I think what I'm supposed to do is just look at super chats, which is a bit stingy and also makes you miss a lot of the conversation, to be perfectly honest with you. It would be great to just read super chats, but I'm not that kind of a show. So I'm not going to do that. I'm apparently just going to get lost in thought for everything else. And so I'll consider, I wonder if I can make an early morning barking branded year planner. I've been having thoughts surrounding merch, to be perfectly honest. Because we need t-shirts with Paisley on. That's a given. And all kinds of things. I still want a t-shirt that says, I took the narcissist test and aced it. Or something like that. I need to do it tomorrow. I needed one that says it's a BPD thing. And I need some sort of graphic artist to design these t-shirts for me, basically for free. Or I should go on Fiverr.com, shouldn't I? That's the thing. And then we can all decide on which t-shirt we're having done. Ideas. And then a lunchbox. And a cereal. And a flamethrower. Little dog-shaped cereal. How long have I been prattling on tonight? Not as long as I thought, actually, and yet at the same time, perhaps too long. But I'm not done yet. So I was thinking about actually doing, because like I say, I talk about writing stuff down a lot. I'm putting together some sort of, I don't want to say guide, collection of things to write down on based on stuff I've said you should write down. I sort of feel like there's scope to put together some sort of skills based course on the Patreon. I don't want to, you see, it's, I don't know if I've mentioned that I'm just an idiot with a microphone and a camera, right? This is talking about BPD and NPD by somebody that has both, not by a trained medical professional. And I'm not going to come on YouTube or Patreon and start making claims that I can do stuff to cure or get you over or do positive things to your BPD and or NPD. What I can do is talk about things I've done, experiences I've had, things I tried, and whether they worked for me or not. And I've always felt that if I get into the territory of doing any sort of selling a thing that I say will help you, I might end up on really thin ice, right? Because I can't make that claim. I don't want to. It's potentially misleading to people as well. I can't cure your BPD. I can't do anything like that. And no amount of writing anything down that I tell you to write down is necessarily going to do that. I like I say, I just find what works for me. I find what I've found to be good ideas and have benefited from. And I can recommend that from that standpoint on that basis, but I can't tell you that you should do something and that it will help you. And I'm very cautious about charging money surrounding something like that. I'd be interested to hear what you lot think of that and what you feel about me putting together something like that. Sort of a worksheet thing, a sort of a place to write down things that you should think about that would help you. More so just printouts of stuff. I mean, when I talk about selling it, I'm talking about selling it in regards to sort of it being on the Patreon. So it would be there on Patreon. And it would be part of all of that. So I wouldn't like be selling something directly, but I would be in, you know, what do people feel about that? Is that even worth doing? Because what do you actually write down? Right? We're talking about year planners. Am I really going to go and get one? I should. Really. Sod it, I will actually. I'm going to do it. I will get a year planner. He says going to Amazon. So that's something I was actually thinking of doing. Anyway, I won't bang on about it too long because I'm aware I'm rambling now. And I am ordering a year planner. I need to change my address. A 2022 planner. Hopefully that's quite big. I didn't really look into that. Oh, 88 by 57 centimeters. That'll go on the wall just fine. So yeah, let's sum up the ramble of this evening before I go. Because we talked about having stuff to look forward to and how crucial that is. And how many things it can be. And how can we expect to get better without those things? I don't know that we can. I don't think we can. I actually don't think it's possible. I think we need them. I think they are essential. As much as therapy or whatever else you can have, or any medication or any whatever. Absolutely key things to look forward to. Things you like, things you do. A life. And you can't get better without that. What are you trying to get better for without that? Do we think we'll get better and then get that? Is that the thought process? Because it has to be that you get better while having that. That having that helps you get better. You're not going to get anywhere without something to look forward to. You need that incentive. And it would be good to have those things to remind us all around us as much as possible, because they're so easily forgotten. There's no blanket of happiness. There's no blanket of excitement. There's just blankets of sadness and all of that. I've forgotten all the blankets there are. There's a blanket of sadness, a blanket of meh. And didn't I discover a third blanket? I can't remember it now. I should do a book. That should be a thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to it there. I hope this was in some way entertaining and informative. If not, I just wasted an hour of everybody's time, didn't I? And I will see you better. A blanket of anger. Thank you. Yes, there's a blanket of anger. There is a third blanket. I feel there are more blankets to be discovered in the BPD airing cupboard of dirty laundry or forgotten about dusty laundry. I think it was clean once, but it's been in the airing cupboard too long. And who has airing cupboards anymore? It's 2022. We've all just got boilers in the kitchen now, haven't we? We need to get rid of the blankets. Can you have a duvet of happiness? Something like that. Yeah. Now I need a t-shirt with the BPD airing cupboard on it. Can someone do that for me, please? I don't even know what that would look like. Anyway, you lot take care. I'll see you later. Bye.